Hey, government class, congratulations. You have now finished what would have been one unit in U.S. government class. So, um, obviously, at this point, if we were in normal school, we would be having a test, but instead, we'll just kind of seamlessly transition to the next major topic. So, kind of keep in mind, right, we just finished talking about the philosophies and the ideas that contributed to our government. And one of those guys, his name was Montesquieu. And Montesquieu had the great idea that if man is bad, then government must be bad. And therefore, we actually want sections of government to like compete against each other to make sure that no one group gets too powerful, right? In other words, the three branches of government, right? Executive, legislative, judicial. And so we're now going to transition to look at those three branches and how they operate. What do they do? What are their powers? And of course, obviously, how do they check on each other? So first thing, let me very quickly give you an overview of the three branches. This is something that many Americans mess up and don't understand. So I'll summarize it briefly. And then there's another YouTube video that just kind of says it another way, and they have some fancy visuals that I can't do on here to maybe help you understand it a little bit better. So, all right, first branch, the one that we're going to start to study today, legislative branch. At its core, the legislative branch's main job is to create and pass laws. All right, so if you want to change things in the United States, then it's the legislative branch that does so, right? The major changes, okay? Because the legislative branch makes and creates laws, right? Legislation, right? That's their job, the legislative branch. Okay, most people know that one. Second branch, the one that most people mess up, is the executive branch. All right, the executive branch, the name says it, but people forget this. To be an executive means to execute things. No, not to like, right? Not to execute like that, but to put into practice, to make it happen, right? Like, oh, hey, he executed that plan to perfection, right? So the executive branch's job is to put the laws into practice, right? So the legislative branch passes them, and then the executive branch, including the president, his job then is to make sure that the laws actually happen, right? That the changes actually are put into place. So, a speed limit changes, okay? Congress passes a law to change a speed limit. It's the executive branch's job then to go through and actually change all the speed limit signs, right? To do the practical steps to make the law work. All right, so legislative branch passes laws. Executive branch executes or puts them into place. And third is the judicial branch. Now, they kind of have two roles. First, they're going to enforce the law, right, and punish wrongdoers. Okay, I mean they're the court system. Okay, so they punish wrongdoers. But the other function that they do is they interpret laws. So sometimes, believe it or not, laws can be a little fuzzy, right? They can have some gray area that all of a sudden 20 years after the law was passed, people are like, what did that mean exactly? Well, that's the job then of the judicial branch. All right, so again, quick review. Legislative branch passes laws, executive branch puts them into place or puts them into practice, and the judicial branch punishes wrongdoers and interprets the law. Okay, so your focus now is to do a little bit of research about the legislative branch, right? We're talking like number of members in the House of Representatives, age you have to be in to serve in the Senate, right? Just kind of some basic facts like that. So I've provided kind of a basic chart, and after watching a couple of videos, just one video about the legislative branch, you can do some research, fill the chart in, and of course then, share it back with me. All right. I will have a video at the end that's going to explain just a couple kind of weird terms or ideas that are on the chart. You shouldn't have any problems defining them, but I will try to explain them briefly just in like a 2-minute video at the end.